All right, so you can see here, Bank of America this week announced it will be launching a mortgage option for first-time home buyers, offering no down payments, no closing costs, and no minimum credit score. On today's episode, I want to go over Bank of America's new lending program. You can see here I'm on USA Today, and the title of this article is "A Mortgage with No Down Payment. Bank of America rolls out a program in some Black and Latino areas." So now, if you remember a few months back, I did a video breaking down all of the controversy and all of the drama surrounding Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo got themselves in trouble because there was a huge, massive disparity between Black applicants trying to get home loans or even refinance homes that they already owned simply because of the neighborhoods that they were living in. There were tons of lawsuits, tons of backlash, where Wells Fargo, they're still trying to rebound with their reputation. But I find it interesting now that Bank of America, they're kind of capitalizing off of this. So they're going to be rolling out a new home loan program, essentially to revitalize and strengthen the Black and Latino communities. It's not restricted only for Black and Latinos. You're going to see that in a second. All right, so you can see here, Bank of America this week announced it will be launching a mortgage option for first-time home buyers, offering no down payments, no closing costs, and no minimum credit score. So now, typically, if you're a first-time home buyer, normally the barrier of entry is those three things. You're probably low on down payment. Maybe you're young, maybe you're single, you don't have enough to put down 20% down or more to get a conventional loan, to make sure that your interest rate is on point. Those same buyers are typically cash strapped, so they're not going to have enough to contribute towards closing costs and, of course, the credit score. Now, this channel is primarily dedicated on how to repair our credit building products, data points, anything related to credit. This is what this channel is about. So this is why I thought this program is very important to go over. So you can see here some of the major tripping points for first-time home buyers. Bank of America, they're taking that off the table to make it a lot easier for people to get approved if you're a first-time home buyer. Now, the next question is this loan going to be available for all 50 states? Is it going to be nationwide? It's not. It's not. So let's read this. The Community Affordable Loan Solution will be available to some individuals and families looking to purchase homes in designated markets, including certain Black, African American, and or Hispanic Latino neighborhoods in Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, LA, and Miami. Another thing that caught my eye is mortgage insurance. Now, I did a video last year, and to be honest, I probably need to do another video because that one's a little bit outdated, where I take you from, if you don't know anything about the home ownership process. If you've never talked to a lender, if you never pulled your credit, I take you from A to Z, what questions that you need to ask the lender, what question you need to ask your realtor, what loan programs you probably need to be paying attention to, depending on if you have the capital to put down for your down payment. In that video, I take you from A to Z to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting into and what to prepare for when you're trying to purchase your first home. So in that video, I talked about there's something called mortgage insurance. So if you go to the lender and you tell the lender, hey, I want to buy a home, give me a loan for $300,000. If you don't put down at least 20% down as a down payment, the lender, they're not going to be a big fan of that, and they're going to basically charge you mortgage insurance, which is basically their fees, which they're going to roll into your monthly payment. Now, what is the point of this mortgage insurance? You got to think of it from the lender's perspective. We all remember what happened back in 2008 with the market crash, when all these homes go under foreclosure and the lender has to take back the property. A lot of times they're taking a haircut, they're taking a loss on these foreclosures. So these lenders want to make sure that if they're going to be giving you money to get a loan on a house, they want to make sure that you have some skin in the game, that you have at least some money. Again, usually it's around 20%, some money out of your own pocket that you put down. That way the lender feels more comfortable. They feel like you have some skin in the game, that they don't have all of the risk on their side. And normally once you put 20% down, they're not going to include that mortgage insurance, which is ultimately going to reduce your monthly payments because you're not having to pay that extra fee. Now with this Bank of America program, they're not going to require any mortgage insurance. So once again, now we have the reduction of no down payments, no closing costs, no minimum credit score, and now they're going to be getting rid of mortgage insurance. All of these costs are normally the things that trip people up, that keep people and prevent people from becoming homeowners. Now, if Bank of America isn't stressing about your 3-digit FICO score for this program, how are they determining who can apply for this program, who's eligible, who's not eligible. The program considers financial factors such as payments for rent, utilities, and more. Eligibility is also based on income and home location, and people must complete a home buyer course from Bank of America in the Department of Housing and Urban Development, aka HUD, approved partners. Now, that last part reminds me of NACA. If you're in Atlanta, you probably heard of NACA. This is one of those programs that does something similar to what Bank of America is trying to do here, where they're trying to, again, bolster certain neighborhoods. They're trying to improve home ownership among minorities, which is, once again, a great program. However, there's always some drawbacks. There's always a downside to everything. Now, I don't know whether or not Bank of America is going to be the same with NACA as far as how they're going to do their courses. And I know with NACA, it's kind of a grueling process to go through everything they want you to complete. You have to take classes. You have to go ahead and basically prove that you are responsible. There are a lot of different hoops that you have to jump through. However, if you're able to go through everything, you're going to be able to get approved for a loan a lot easier than someone who wasn't going through this process. Now, for this one in particular, and again, this is why I'm trying to do the parallel, one of the drawbacks and one of the things I wasn't a fan with NACA is, let's say you find the house that you are in love with. You go ahead and you put down in a contract, you need to do a 45-day or a 60-day close. And a lot of these government programs, the drawback is they're not that fast for funding, which means you can't really close as quickly as somebody that is not going through these programs. So you probably noticed in the past 24 months, if you've been putting any application on any home, the buyers that are actually able to purchase a home in the seller's market, these are buyers that were able to put down a substantial amount in earnest money. They were able to close a lot faster, some in 2 or 3 weeks, if not 4 weeks. If you're a NACA borrower, or if you're, again, potentially, because I don't know all of the details, my major question is, am I able to do a 30-day close? Am I able to compete with someone who's doing a conventional loan or an FHA loan, which they're putting down 3.5%? I want to know how well am I able to compete with other home buyers that are competing for the same property. But in the grand scheme of things, you got to look at it in the big picture. If they're offering you, again, no down payment, no closing costs, no minimum credit score, they're not going to be putting in that mortgage insurance, they're giving you so many benefits, there's got to be a drawback, there's got to be a downside at some point. And I'm guessing it's going to be how long it takes to fund. So you may have to put down in your contract a 45-day close, or maybe a 60-day close. Again, I'm not sure 100% how they're going to do it, but if it's anything like NACA, it's probably going to be a 45 to 60-day close, which may hinder you from getting the home that you want because sellers want quick closings. Bank of America confirmed to USA Today that it does not have a limit on the number of loans that will be involved in the program. Properties involved in the program must be located in a census tract that are more than 50% African American and or Hispanic Latino. But people do not need to be Black or Latino to qualify for the program, according to the bank. So even though these loans are targeting African Americans and Hispanic Latinos primarily, other races will be able to go ahead and apply to these same neighborhoods. And if we scroll down a little bit further, you're going to see here, they go over the same statistics that I touched on earlier, especially in the other video, about the disparity between the home ownership between minorities and other races. This right here is Bank of America's attempt to try to even the playing field, especially when you have other lenders like Wells Fargo that are doing a terrible job at servicing their Black and Latino homeowners. All right, so that's pretty much it. So finally, what are my thoughts on this? I think this is a great program. One thing that you got to pay attention to, as I stated before, just because they're saying that they're not requiring down payments, no closing costs, or a minimum credit score, please do not believe that you do not have to pay attention to what's on your credit profile. The stronger your credit profile is, the more options that you have. So the example that I gave you earlier, if it's me versus someone else, and I'm doing a loan program that takes, 45 days, 60 days plus to close, and my competitor, they can close in 3 weeks, and you're the seller, who would you pick? Would you pick me and you have to wait at least 2 months to close? Or would you pick this person over here with a conventional loan because they have good credit? Who would you sell your house to if you had the choice? If you think like that, this is why I tell you, even with programs like this, be aware of this. This is great. Be aware of this. Bank of America has something that we can have in our back pocket, especially if you are in Detroit, LA, Miami, Charlotte, Dallas. If you live in one of those cities, definitely go ahead and send this article over to your mortgage lender. Ask them what your options are. I still want you to go back and pull your credit reports. Go back and find anything in your credit profile that is derogatory, that is inaccurate. Go ahead and dispute that. go ahead and do the steps that I always tell you guys to do, with whether that's getting secured cards, applying for self, getting pledge loans from Navy Federal and other credit unions. There are so many different things that you can start working on today, so that by the time you're ready to go ahead and start applying for these loans, if you can't get a conventional loan or if you can't do an FHA loan program, maybe you and the lender can work together to take advantage of this program right here. So no, this isn't the end all be all. No, this isn't the lending institutions basically saying that you don't have to worry about credit. This is going to be limited to specific neighborhoods. So if you can take advantage of this, go ahead and take advantage of this. But everybody else, make sure you're doing your due diligence. Make sure that you're taking care of all the things I'm telling you to take care of. And that way you can still take advantage of great loan programs that are coming out literally every week, every month. But you got to make sure that your credit is on point. So let me know your thoughts. Go down in the comments. Let me know if you have questions, concerns. Let me know if you are interested in a program like this. Other than that, that is the end of the video. I'm going to catch you out in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.